But anyway, that's in country rock or southern rock. This is like a country blues note that you add. So instead of just playing the straight major pentatonic scale in D, you can add this other, like a passing tone, which is a tone that you add, but you never end on it. You go to something else, right? It adds just a little bit more flavor. And the guy that played the lead in this particular song used that to get a little more flavor out of the song instead of just a straight pentatonic. So again, understanding that you can add extra notes to your playing makes your playing sound better. And again, this is a common note. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm playing a D chord for this. And I'm adding this note, this blues note, country blues note right there, which is an F. And this note, which is actually a note in the scale from the pattern, as you recall. Let me draw the pattern out for you. Note that I'm on that one right there on the 5th string. I also play that note right there. I could play that note. There's your pattern. But I'm borrowing here. Do the same thing down here in the key for the A. Now here is the A major pentatonic at the 2nd position, right? Sorry, I was palm muting there. It's the exact same pattern you played up here at number 7 for the D. Same pattern here. All right, so that's the A major pentatonic. It also was adding that that country blues note here. Now, once you've done that, like, you know, you play this song. I'll draw the notes out here as I play it again. All right, I missed one of the notes, but you see there how that fits inside that pattern shape. Then you go. Let's do that again. Those notes are straight out of the A major pentatonic, right? Then you come out of that, and you can come up here and you go, again, note straight out of the D major pentatonic. Slide up to that. And then you put this bend in there. I'm sorry. Those notes are all straight out of the D major pentatonic with this, what they call like a pedal steel bend. You'll hear this in a lot of songs. Then you're going to repeat that same pattern down here as if you're using the A major pentatonic. You repeat it up here again. Back to the A major pentatonic down here. That's my own little thing I put in there. Then you would go back to the D major pentatonic. Remember, here's our pattern. I'm going to take those two tones right there. I'm going to play them with these fingers instead of these fingers, right? Makes it easier because this finger's stronger. And then in the song, when it comes out of it, it goes. That's pretty low and bassy, but also note that you end up on the E chord to go. Okay? You get the same thing without as much finger movement if you played that, because this is a G chord. You're doing G, F sharp, F, E. You can get that same thing here, right? You're playing this. Now, you got your D chord here. Remember I showed you earlier you can make a G chord by lifting that ring finger coming down and only playing these two strings. You get your G, F sharp, F, E. Okay? And you get the same sound. The same sound as this. The same sound here. Only it's an octave higher. You could get the same sound if you went up here. And this is a G chord right here. All right, using the A shape. Those are basically the same tones as these. So there's 3 different ways to make that descending chromatic sound. And when I say chromatic, I mean it includes all the sounds of the scale. G, F sharp, F, E. That's chromatic. If I were doing it in the key of D, it would go D, F sharp, E. I would lose the F sharp. But anyway, so there's a complete and total explanation of the music theory and concepts that are taking place in the song Gimme 3 Steps. You're using a D chord here. And that little riff you play right there is using notes out of the D major pentatonic scale with this added blues note, right? Country blues note. And then you're playing another A chord down here. Here's your A major pentatonic to make that riff. With the added country blues note. There you see the scale pattern. And then again, when you come into the part where it goes... Note again my pattern for the D major pentatonic. Those 2 notes, instead of these 2 fingers, I'm going to use these 2 fingers. Now I'm going to move down to the A major pentatonic and do the same thing. Then I made this chord inversion to come out of D to make a G. And then there you basically have the song. The rest of the song for the verses can be played with cowboy chords or whatever you want. I was a cutting rug down at a place called The Jug with a girl named Linda Lou. Went and locked a man with a gun in his hand. Now you play the major, the A major pentatonic scale. Looking for you know who. He said, hey there fella, the hair color jello. Here's your G thing. What you trying to prove? Well, that's my woman there. I'm a man who cares, and this might be all for you. Okay, so you could also play that part like this. I was a cutting rug down at a place called The Jug with a girl named Linda Lou. There's my A chord, D to A, Lou. Or I can play it. I was cutting rock down in a place called the Jug with a girl named Lynyrd. That's an A chord. Okay? You could also play it up here at the 10th fret with a bar chord based on the E shape. I was cutting rock down in a place called the Jug with a girl named Lynyrd. Okay? Now I'm using my little finger to the rhythm to make different sounds. Kind of the whole point of me teaching this today was that a lot of musicians are going to tell you, well, not a lot, but some are going to be like, oh no, you have to play the song exactly the way it was played on the record. And if you don't, you're a piece of crap and you'll never go anywhere. You suck. I hear that all the time. But if the sound's good to you, as long as it actually does meet the theoretical idea behind the song, it's okay to do it. Who gives a crap if you don't play the exact same notes? I was playing the song Honky Tonk Woman, and a guy said to me, oh, that's not how Keith Richards does it. Well, if you know anything about Keith Richards, he probably doesn't play any of his songs the same way every time. And that's where the improvisation of being a guitar player comes in. And if what you're doing can sneak by the ear of the average listener, that really is who your audience is. If you're playing in a bar, there's a real good chance that while there may be one Rhodes Scholar of music in the audience, most of the people are too drunk or fucked up to really know whether you made a mistake or not. So get over the shame of that. And they just want to hear the basic part of the song, and then you add or improvise your own fill. And that's what makes the music fun. So again, you can play these parts any way you want. I was cutting rock at a place called the Jug. See, I had that little boogie woogie thing in there, right? Some people say don't do that. Well, I like it that way. With a girl named Linda. That might not be in the actual song, but I like it, so I play it in there. And when I'm jamming over like a soundtrack to the song, it fits in there, so who gives a crap? In walked a man with a gun in his hand, and he was looking for you know who. Or you don't even have to play that part. In walked a man with a gun in his hand, and he was looking for you know who. You could probably even substitute an E chord in there. Looking for you know who. I don't know. It would fit, but it might not be the best. But it's still, you're improvising, so feel free to do it. I said, wait a minute, mister, I didn't even kiss her. Don't want no trouble from you. 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 It's all the same thing. And it's important to understand that, because when you're playing in a band situation, if everyone is playing the same chord version, right? That G, F sharp, F, E, it gets kind of muddy because there's like 3 guitars playing those notes. So if you're the one guy who's doing this, you're adding you're harmonizing with the other guitars, making the sound fill out better. So again, don't be locked into like the way that the one guy in Lynyrd Skynyrd played the song, or the way that your buddy down the street plays the song. If you're playing the same chords but different versions of those chords, you get a better sound because they're harmonizing, and the track isn't all muddied up with the same notes resonating, right? And if you're slightly out of tune, that just makes it even worse. So again, D, D, D. Here's an interesting D. It's a C chord that I've barred. All right, up to the, well, there's too much sunlight on that. But I've barred a C chord up to the 2nd fret to make my D chord. Right, that's just a C slid up 2, so that's up 2 tones. That makes it a D chord. So again, bar chords can be any chord, wherever you move them up and down the fingerboard. I hope some of this made sense, and if it doesn't, great. If you want to comment and tell me that I'm a shithead, I'm a terrible guitar player, I really don't care. It's the concept that I'm trying to teach here, not show off my super spectacular guitar playing skills.